Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Virtual Wargaming Live Battle Report. Today I have a 375 point game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition with the Warbands rules between Orcs and Goblins and Dark Elves. This game is the second attempt at playing this particular matchup, because last night when I went to record it, on the very first turn, I had a unit of Wolf Riders that scored a 1 for Animosity, and then a 6, shooting forward, charging the Dark Elf Warriors, and by the end of their second turn, they had crushed 70% of the Dark Elf army. And I went, yeah, no, we're not doing that today. So this is my second attempt, and hopefully it will go a little bit better. As ever, I've done deployment first, I've done all of the deciding who goes first, deciding what the objectives are. Both sides got Annihilate. Dark Elves got the option to choose. I looked at this army and I went, well, if we break the Wolf Riders, that basically achieves Annihilate, so that's what we're going to go with. So let me hop into going over our armies real quick, and then we can get into the game. So for our Orcs and Goblins, we have a Orc boss. He has light armor, a shield, no magic items, nothing fancy, just naked-ish equipment. And then we have 9 Orc boys, also equipped with shields. Then we have the Problem Children. This is a unit of 15 Goblin Wolf Riders with shields and light armor. Light armor means that they aren't fast cavalry anymore, so this is not quite full combat resolution because they don't have a standard bearer, but almost full combat resolution. But no spears, so they don't hit very hard, which is why they have a Goblin Big Boss. He is equipped with a spear, he has a light armor, shield, and a wolf, and this is just the Battle of Blue Forest models. I think I've only got like 30 views on that video at the time, so I don't think anyone will recognize them, but I am letting you know all the same. Finally, we have 5 goblins with short bows, and 6 goblins with short bows, because as it turns out, when a model is only 3 points and you can get away with bringing as low as 3 of them in a unit, it's really easy to just fill out the rest of a list with goblins. And I really need to try and work on avoiding doing that, but not today. Next up, we have our Dark Elves. So they are led by a Sorceress. She is a level 2 wizard. Don't know why I said level 4. She is a level 2 wizard with the Tome of Fury, giving her 1 extra spell. She took the Lore of Death, and she generated Dark Hand of Death, Steal Soul, and Drain Life. Except I'm lying to you, she actually generated Death Dealers, the one that lets models attack after dying, and I went, yeah, we don't need that. So I swapped that one for Dark Hand of Death, which is 24-inch range magic missile for d6 strength 4 hits. It's literally the same as Fireball from the Lore of Fire. Steal Soul, 12-inch range, not requiring line of sight. You target a single model, that model takes 1 wound with no armor save, and the caster gains a wound, which is a really cool spell. I love it. And then Drain Life, every unit within 12 inches takes d6 strength 3 hits with no armor saves allowed. So we're kind of just hoping to get her somewhere like here relative to the Wolf Riders and just suck up a bunch of damage from them and kill as many as we can. Next up, we have a unit of 10 Dark Elf Warriors equipped with shields. And we are using the FAQ'd version, so they are significantly cheaper. They're only 7 points instead of 9 points, I think. Which is why you see them instead of Corsairs. Because obviously if they weren't changed, Corsairs are just objectively superior models. Next up we have 3 units of Dark Riders. No equipment going on here. I think they have spears by default. I know that on my list they have spears. Yep, spears by default. So they're just going to, again, try and get a flank somewhere, probably on the Wolf Riders because they're not fast cavalry. And then break unit and hopefully send them fleeing. Next up we have our Harpies, 3 Harpies, and then deploying as scouts, 4 Shades. The battlefield, as you can see, there is absolutely no vegetation today. No forests, no rivers, no ruins, no bushes, just hills and rocks. I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to create like a sort of I don't know, highlands sort of vibe, or I'm not going to say arid because it's grass, but if I redesigned the terrain so it wasn't grass, arid kind of battlefield, and we'll see how this one goes. If I like it, I might play some more on it, because, as always, there's a whole bunch of different deployment deployment setups you can have that significantly change how a battlefield plays. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump on into this game. And thankfully, with my Animosity shenanigans yesterday, I'm not going to forget Animosity this time. So, okay, so good news. We haven't had Animosity on the Wolf Riders. For context, when I start rolling Animosity, I usually pick a direction and just go down. So it was top down. So that's the Orc boss and the Goblin archers. So let's see for the boss. That is... Oh, okay, so they both got Let's Get 'em. And I'm going to quickly read what that does. Obviously, I know what it does. Shoots at the nearest Orc or Goblin unit if they have missile weapons. Can't do anything else this turn. If no missile weapons, they charge the nearest unit that qualifies for Animosity. I'm going to very quickly... double check if they need a line of sight for this, because I didn't write that into my notes. So, I shall be back. Alright, so, my conclusion is that no, for a melee unit, it cannot charge, it charges like normal. This is very explicit. So they would only be able to charge something in front of them, which there currently isn't anything, so they will just squabble, so they don't do anything. This unit, however, can shoot in any direction, presumably so long as people can see, but like, yeah, if we have 360 line of sight, they can all see this unit. So, this unit is going to be shooting at the Wolf Riders, and we have to do that before we do anything else. That is the 6 Goblins one. We are all at, well, this guy's in short range. This one too, this one too. Okay, so 3 units are at long range, 3 are at short range, because short bows have only an 18-inch range. Why am I saying 4? I'm saying 4 because I've just written the number 4 3 times. That's why I'm saying it. 5s, 4s, 4s, go. Alright, so nothing happens on that front. And then the other 2 units get to act as normal. So, Goblin Wolf Riders, we're going to... Okay, so I know if we get into the Dark Elf Warriors, we win that fight. But the Dark Elf Warriors are inclined to like move up to here. Generally try and thin these guys down. Okay, actually what do I want to do? Alright, I'm going to start over here. Goblin Archers. We're going to march them 8 inches down. I know that the Dark Riders are a threat to them, but they can't see anything anyway, so once the Dark Riders come out, then we'll shoot at them and deal with that problem at that time. Next up we have these guys. Oh, I don't have them all labeled with Animosity. Let me quickly slap my little Animosity boy on them. That would help me remember as well. Cause Animosity. There we go. Little angry Orc man. Who I believe is from Hearthstone. Okay, let's think about the Wolf Riders real quick. Because this is the problem with putting all your eggs in one basket, is you really need to think about where you put that basket. I think preparing to engage the Shades, but keeping open the option for the Warriors is the correct decision. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to wheel this half an inch. We're going to zoom forward to here. We are going to wheel, and then we are going to wheel. Okay, so basically we're creating this big view range. So the Shades are kind of being forced to go this way, where they'll be susceptible to the Orc boys in coming turns. And then if they do that, we can just charge straight over and kill the Warriors. And if they don't do that, we charge them. And then we overrun into the Warriors, hopefully. And with that, that's going to be the end of the first Goblin turn, which brings us to the, well, Orcs and Goblin turn, I should say. There's so many Goblins in this army. So that brings us to the Dark Elf turn. So let's start off with the Shades. Sure enough, we're going to go 5 inches, and we're just going to sidestep out of the way. That is necessary. We're going to wheel these guys. I saw that coming, so I made sure to mark with my finger where they're going. And then they're going straight up to the edge, so they get that extra combat resolution. We're going to throw the Dark Elf Sorceress. Where is she going? Okay, so I want her to have the line of sight. I'm going to go this way, 10 inches. Yeah, like that. I think it's going to be good. Okay, our Harpies, they don't want to engage this unit. They really want to get the Goblin Archers. So we're going to go 20 inches this way. Just duck behind the other cover. And then the goal with our Harpies is we're going to put them over behind these guys, make them turn around to shoot, 5s to hit, and then we charge and hopefully crush them. Then finally our Dark Riders, yeah, they can just go up here. Predictable. Let's scoot them back a little bit. The Goblin Archers will just like, I guess actually they don't have to turn to see them, but like whatever. I mean, like one of them at least does. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the movement phase, magic phase. So we are going to be throwing a Dark Hand of Death. That's what it's called. At that unit, and we are going to be throwing 3 dice at it because we can't cast anything else, is the answer. Alright, it's an 11. Orcs going to attempt to dispel. They failed. Alright, that is 1d6, 2 strengthful hits. So, 2 attacks, hit on 1s, wound on 3s, save on normally 5s, so, no, normally 4s, so 5s. Go. 1 dead Wolf Rider. That's actually huge because that breaks one of their ranks. But the Shades are inclined to shoot at them as well, because if we can double break their ranks, that's really good. Like if we can get them down, if we could kill 4 more, so they only have 1 rank bonus, then this is like a huge victory for these guys. Do I want to try that though? Or do I want to put it into the Goblin Archers to try and panic them? Okay, let's be real. 15 points. 18 points. Not worth anything, like 120 points here actually, but they can't do anything this turn. They can't charge at these guys. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so 8 attacks. They would normally hit on 3s, but they've moved and they're rapid firing. So they hit on 5s, 4s and 4s. Nothing. Okay, I mean, that's about what one would expect. End of turn 1. Alright, turn 2. Animosity checks, starting at the top. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. I promise you I know how to use a keyboard. Okay, so Goblin Archers, they squabble. Oh, you're kidding me. Alright, so the Wolf Riders get the going forward ability, which is honestly probably better for the Dark Elves than one could expect, but also just the fact that this is happening again. Goodness. The proverbial dice gods, should they exist, which they don't, but should they exist, definitely wanted that to happen. They just came a turn late this time. Alright, Orc boys. They're not charging. They aren't close enough, so I'm going to scoot forward. Oh, so when I say aren't close enough, they aren't close enough to be denied the march, is what I meant by that. I appreciate that I kind of just made it look like I was pre-measuring if they could charge, which is not the case. Okay, so that was 1.4-ish, 4.5 forward, 5 to wheel, 6, 6.5, 7. So they got like a 1 inch forward. Alright, perfect. So these guys are squabbling, so they don't get to shoot anything. These guys can't see anything to shoot. So we're going to march them up onto the hill. So they might have something to do in the next turn. And then we have this. Okay, so we will start with the Wolf Rider boss. He gets 3 attacks. He hits on... Is he on 3s or 4s? 4s. He's not that special. He's just a goblin. But he'll wound them on 2s, and they'll save on 7s. We are going to use spears, because we want as many attacks back as we can get. We've killed 1. Then we have 3 goblins and 4 wolves, and they have the same chances to hit and to wound. So we're going to roll them all together. So there's going to be 7 attacks that hit on 4s, that will wound on 4s, and will save on 5s. That's nothing. So now our high elf strike back, we have 3s, we have 4s, we have 4s, 9 attacks, 2 dead goblins. Okay. Combat resolution time. We have 2 ranks, and we outnumber. That's worth 3 points. We have 1 rank, and we are on a high ground, so that's worth 2 points. So we're currently +1 for the goblins, minus +2, +1, +0. That is a tie. So that is a really good outcome for our Dark Elves. And that brings us on to their turn. So, charges, Dark Riders into the Goblin Archers. That's it, that's our charges. Okay, so we're just gonna scoot them forward. Oh wait, sorry. My mouse be messing up like always. And they would actually hit the flank here, so. Actually beneficial outcome for the, kind of beneficial outcome for the goblins. They do get potentially, well, they get the combat res penalty. Okay. Now then, the shades. The shades are going to move to here. And I'm going to scoot this guy around so they all have line of sight onto the orcs. And then we're going to move the Dark Elf Sorceress up to here. Perfect. Okay. And then, oh, Harpies. As promised, Harpies swing around behind these guys. Hang on. I'm going to go the full 20 behind them. Because I know that they can't run away, or the 19. And the odds are good that then they're going to be at long range. So that's going to make them less likely to hit. Okay, magic phase. Dark Elf Sorceress, we're going to 2 dice at the Orc Boys. This is going to be... Oh, wait. What are we going to do? Do I think that's just 12 inches? I think I'm going to take the risk that it is, and we're going to attempt to drain life on 2 dice. And we miscast. Fun. Okay, I don't actually have a miscast table prepared, so I'm going to quickly look that up. I won't pause the video like I normally do, though. I am confident that I can yap while I'm doing this. And I am correct, because I've already found the rules. Alright, so magic, wizard loses concentration. Opposing player may immediately cast any one of its own spells. Nope. Player needs... Okay, so that's it. It's not actually that bad. It would be... if there was magic on the orc side, they would be able to do magic, but they can't. And... yeah, with the same difficulty rating, all this. But there's no other adverse effects. That was easily the best outcome. Now I have the question. Do I try and drain the life of the Wolf Rider boss? And the answer is yes. I'm going to steal soul on that Wolf Rider boss. Because then if we can kill him, that is incredible. So, and that is irresistible force. Alright. So that's going to be 1 wound, no armor save allowed. Our boy, it takes a wound. And she has +1 wound. So I'm going to put a little label on her. +1 wound. I really need to know better than to try and write things and speak at the same time. It never works out for me. Alright, shooting phase. So that is going to be our shades shooting at the Orc Boys. Sure enough, they're all in line of sight, they're all in range. So we're going to be having 8 attacks, 5s to hit because we moved and we are double firing, 5s to wound because they had toughness 4, and 5s to save, so go. Nothing. Predictable. Next up, we're going to do the Dark Riders first. So, 2 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 3s, save on 7s, go. Nothing. No hits? Wow. Okay. 2 attacks, I think. Okay, so Goblins weapon skill 2, and Dark Elf horses. Oh, weapon skill 3, so the horses also are more likely to hit. And go. Wow. That was just 4 2s in a row. Impressive. Goblin fights back. He misses. So, they're still going to lose. And they're probably going to die. Okay, over here we have this fight. I think trying to kill the Goblin boss is worth the effort. So we can put 4 attacks into him, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So 4 attacks. They will hit on... What is his weapon skill? 4. So we'll hit on 4. They will wound on 5, and he will save on 4s. This is a long shot, but if it goes through, that's a huge bonus. And unfortunately it didn't, but like whatever. It was worth the shot. 5 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on 4s. Go. 3 more dead Wolf Riders. And that actually takes out all of the Wolf Riders along the front, so it's just going to be the boss fighting to attack them. So he'll hit on 4s, he will wound on 3s, and they will save on 6s this time. Go. Yep, another dead Dark Elf, and then real quick, his Wolf. Nope, he misses. Alright, so we'll start with combat resolution up here. It's a unit strength 6 on the flank, so that's +1. Unit strength 6 versus unit strength 5, that's 2. So they've lost to the Goblins. Have a leadership of 5, so they needed a 4. So they failed that, they flee. 8 inches, and we're pursuing 11. So these guys are just dead. And they would flee this way. So we're actually going to be like... that's kind of unfortunate, because I think they can now be charged, but like whatever. And then over here, rank, outnumber, rank +1. So, yep, Goblins lose by 1. Let's see if they hold. They do not hold, so they're going to be fleeing 3d6 inches, 9 inches, and then the Elves pursue 7. Alright, so these guys go 9 inches away from the fight. So they're like this. Hang on. Let me just real quickly get them facing the right way. Wheel them around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump these guys back just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to bump them back to the other side of these. Okay, so for context on what's happening, they would have both fled at the same time. Because of that... Hang on. Okay, these guys need to go a little bit further, because obviously they were like this then. Okay, so this seems like the best outcome I'm going to get for this absolute cluster. Because basically everyone was pursuing and chasing into the same area. I don't think these guys would have touched because I had to push them a bit further to get past the shades. So I've just pulled them back to make space for these guys to fit in. And they've pursued a little bit, fled a little bit less because the Orc boys are in the way. So this is a right mess of things, and that is end of turn 2. So let's see if the Goblins rally. They do. So, whoops. They get to reform, and they're going to reform to face this way. But unfortunately, I put them like this. I'm going to literally just... And there we go. So unfortunately this blocks out the Orcs, so these archers are going to turn around in their movement phase. The Orcs are actually going to wheel backwards a little bit, I think. Oh no, actually they can just wheel forwards like that. That gets them just a little bit more positioned to be able to get out. In subsequent turns, yep, I was correct. It is just over 9 inches for these guys. So they will now make 6 attacks that hit on, it'll be 4s, 5s, 6s, wound on 4s, save on 7s. Oh no! They're shooting at skirmishing harpies, so actually they'll hit on 7s. Just 1 success. He needs a 4 up. He gets it. He wounds. That is 1 dead harpy. Incredible. The harpies now make a leadership test because they have to check for panic. They have failed. They are fleeing straight off the board. That is okay. That is holy. That is a lot of 6s. That is for a minimum of 5 6s in a row, possibly 6 6s in a row to get a 16. That is insane. And when you consider there was a 6 here, that's like actually 7 6, potentially 7 6s in a row. Insanity. All right, so that brings us to the end of the Orcs and Goblins' turn. How are we handling this situation? I don't think we want to charge. I think what we want to do is we want to just bring these guys around here. And then I think the sorceress wants to move around the units like this. And that's going to be the end of that. So magic phase. We are going to do Steal Life again. Yeah, because we've basically like blocked ourselves out of magic misselling, and that's fine. So we are going to do 2 dice. We get a +1 on it. Nope, that fails. And then we're going to do Steal Soul with 2 dice. And that also fails. So that is unfortunate, but not unexpected. Shade's going to unload into the Wolf Riders, point blank. Didn't move, so they hit on 4s, they'll wound on 4s, they will save on 4s, go. Nothing. That is end of turn 3. Okay, charging. Yeah, obviously we're committing the Wolf Riders into here. We are wheeling the Goblin Archers around. And by wheeling them, I mean we are reforming them up on this hill. The Orcs are going to completely straighten out and then wheel a little bit further. And we're basically hoping for the Goblins to crush through this unit this time. Overrun past, free up the Orcs to start charging these guys. If that doesn't happen, damn sucks to suck, basically. Alright, so Goblins. We have 3 attacks from the Wolf Rider. They'll hit on 3s, they'll wound. No, they'll hit on 4s, they'll wound on 2s, they will save on 7s, go. 1 dead Dark Elf. And then 7 attacks from the Wolves. 4s, 4s, 5s, go. Sorry, Wolves and Goblins, of course. I'm going to put everything into the Wolf Riders. I'm not going to take the chances with combat resolution on this one, or with trying to kill the boss on this one. Okay, so one rank, outnumber, did 2. That is winning by 4 because no one has the high ground right now. Let's see what happens. Yep, they go fleeing. They flee 6 inches. And the other guys only flee 6 inches. Panic checks on all 3 of these. Shades pass, Sorceress passes, Dark Riders, I think they pass. Let's go quickly check. Yep, they're fine. Okay, so I think if it's matching, then they get caught. So I'm gonna pull them 6 inches. And there we go. And that is the end of that turn. Okay, Dark Riders, they're going to charge the Wolf Riders. Straight into the rear, I believe. Okay, let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn them so that they're facing the correct direction. And then I'm going to check it again. And yeah, that's majority into the rear, so yep. There we go. And that's not perfectly aligned, but whatever. We're going to keep the shades where they are. We're going to move the sorceress right into cover. Because I'm just sort of accepting that the shades are going to have to get charged, and assuming that the Dark Riders break this and send them fleeing. Oh, in fact, I forgot about my animosity. I always do this. So those guys should have squabbled. I'm not going to go back and do it. I'm going to pass that squabble on to the next turn, basically. So something will squabble next turn to make up for this mistake. I think I'm going to actually say that the Orcs are going to squabble, regardless of what happens, just to make it, I'm going to say fair in quotation marks. Like, if the Wolf Riders squabbled, they wouldn't have been able to charge. I think I forgot 2 turns of this, actually. Oh well, whatever. What's done is done. This is why I don't play Orcs very much. I always forget about Animosity. I tried making a little Animosity button that would be up here, and I'm always really bad about. I just haven't fully implemented it because I don't like Orcs enough to do that, is the short answer. Okay, so, and normally when I'm doing my by myself games, I can just kind of hide it when I forget it, or I can make it up and just roll things back enough. But obviously when I'm doing it live, my mistakes are visible for everyone to see, and it's very fun and awkward. Okay, Drain Life, we are going to hit with 3 dice. No, we're going to 2 dice it still. Alright, so 2 dicing, Drain Life. Because there is nothing that we can magic missile from this position. If I was thinking about it, I would have done better. So it's going to hit this unit and this unit. Do I try and dispel? I'm not going to try and dispel it because I know that next up on the plan is Steel Soul. So, the Orcs would know that too. Alright, so this is into the Orc unit. That didn't do anything. And these are the Goblins. 1 success. That's 1 dead Wolf Rider. Off the back line. Take him out. And these guys will still all get to hit, and we'll have a full rank of those guys attacking. Okay, shooting. Shades all into the Orc boys. 8 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 5s. Go. 1 dead Orc boy. That's something. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about my second spell, didn't I? Whoops. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. This is going to be Steel Soul. It's 8 inches to that unit. I reckon the Wolf Rider boss is in range. I'm going to go for it. Is he? He's not. What happens in that instance? I don't actually know. I'm going to roll the dice more. Say it doesn't matter in this instance. So I don't have to think too hard about it. So that's the shooting. Alright, combat. Dark Riders. 3 attacks. They hit on 3s. They wound on 3s because they have spears. These guys save on 5s this turn. No wounds from the Dark Riders. 3 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on 4s. This is from the horses. Nothing. The Goblins all fight back. Dark Riders have light armor. Okay, so nothing. Okay, so here's what happens. The Goblins lose by 1 because they are being attacked in the rear, but they do outnumber them. And they don't get any rank bonuses because they're being attacked in the rear. They have failed their leadership. They're going 14 inches and are being pursued 13. So they go 14 inches this way, and then 13 inches of pursuit. And that is the end of turn 4. I think end of turn 4. Yes, I'm going to say end of turn 4. And someone can shout at me in the comments if I'm wrong. Okay, so let me think about this real quick. I'm going to roll my animosities first. I'm going to roll my rally first. So they didn't rally, so they're going to be dead. And then 1d6 Animosity and Animosity for the remaining 2. I said I was going to give an Animosity. I'm giving it to these guys to make up for the problem. So let's see how our Fleeing Cavalry goes. 11 inches. Yeah, they're off the board. Okay, so then these Goblin Archers, what do we do with them? They can see the Dark Elf Shades, but I can tell just by looking at the size of the battlefield that they are not in range. I'm going to go ahead and cheekily pre-measure that, yeah. So we're going to just march them 8 inches forward to try and get them closer to being in range. And then, Dark Elf turn. Once again, Shades are just going to chill. The Sorceress, however, is going to book it 10 inches this way. This way. Yeah, I think she's safe there. Now Dark Riders are going to swing into here. I'm gonna take the gamble of exposing the rear to the Goblins, honestly. This is probably a mistake. But it's a mistake worth making, I feel like. Because I think even if the Goblins get in the rear of these guys, I think they can probably do enough damage that it's fine. And if they get sent fleeing, but we can kill this unit, that's totally fine. And even if not, the Dark Elf Sorceress is like a huge amount of points. So, also keeping in mind with the defeat of these guys, we have achieved Annihilate. Oh, but I don't know if we've achieved Annihilate on the 13 unit strength. We have 11 left on the board. I'm going to quickly double check the rules. I think they have achieved Annihilate, so we don't care on this front either. Yeah, alright, I'm going to take that risk. Alright, shooting phase, or magic phase, I should say. I'm going to 2 dice Dark Hand of Death. I don't want it dispelled. 8. I'm going to try and dispel that. 10, that is dispelled. And I'm going to 2 dice Steel Soul, and we're going to target the Orc boss, and we missed. Alright. Shooting 8 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 5s, go 2 dead Orc boys, which, real quick, 2 divided by 9 is not 25%. So that is fine for them. Okay, Orcs and Goblins turn. These guys and these guys both need Animosity checks. Let's go. Oh wow, double Animosity. Oh, okay. So, these guys move towards the nearest enemy. I think that's correct. Nearest enemy unit counts as having charge if it hits the unit. Unit main move. Okay, so 1.6, 2.2. Okay, so the unit that they move towards is going to be this one. So this is really stupid, but this is actually the correct interpretation of what happens here. Those guys just wheel like that. And then, on the rest of their turn, they're going to go ahead and charge the Dark Riders, who are just going to stand and take it, I think. We're not going to try and... I mean, if we fled, it would be... Okay, if I flee as a charge reaction, I don't want to go through these. I'd go this way. Yeah, we're going to flee as a charge reaction, actually. Screw it. 12 inches. So we go like this way. Yep. Nope, they're not in range. They go 4 inches up onto the hill. Oh, I didn't mark the end of turn 5. So this is going to be turn 6. We're going to try and rally. Yep, they rally. Movement. No movement. Magic. Same thing. This is going to be on the Dark Hand of Death onto that top unit. It succeeds, but they're going to attempt to dispel it. They failed. 1d... Oh, 6 strength, 4 hits. Okay, so 6 hits on 1s, the wound on 4s, save on 6s. Go 4 dead Orcs. And then we are going to attempt to cast Steel Soul, actually. We're going to do the big one, because if I can... Nope, doesn't matter. Steel Soul or Drain Life, which is the one I was thinking of. Drain Life, the one that does D6 Strength 3 hits. And then we had a leadership test for these guys, because they would check if they flee, and they do, so they're going 7 inches away. And then, since they are fleeing, and there's no other turn, and I think they're below 25% anyway, no. Maybe? Yeah, technically they would be, because the Orc boss wouldn't count. So there's no, they're basically gone from this game, so we're going to open fire with our shades. We're firing at long range, didn't move. 8 attacks, hit on 5s, wound on 4s, save on 7s. Go, 1 wound. Not enough to panic them. And with that, we have ended the game. And this game actually took me all 6 turns. What a nice change from what happened last time. So I'm going to do victory points real quick. This is going to be, for the Dark Elves, 165 for the Wolf Riders, 53 for the Dead. Goblin, 69 for the Big Boss, 54 for the Orc Boys, 15 for the Dead. Goblins, 375 divided by 5 for the... Yes, it's 20%. For the objective is 431 victory points versus 80 plus 39 plus 375 divided by 5. Only 194 victory points for the Orcs and Goblins. So that is a decisive win for the Dark Elves, and I'm very glad, because the last game was a disaster. Like, goodness. I genuinely, in the middle, just when I'm not having fun with this, I'm calling the game here. It was just like, sort of like, my energy petered off very rapidly. But that one was a lot more fun. That one was a lot more chaotic. You can see why I don't run Orcs and Goblins very often. I'm still going to run them 2 more times this month. Hopefully I'll remember to do Animosity on those. I might actually literally make a little sticky note that says Animosity in like big letters and just put it up on the corner of my screen to constantly remind me throughout the game. But hopefully you enjoyed that battle report. I think this battlefield has something going for it. I like the line of sight. I like the frequency of elevation means that high ground +1s feels like it's more likely to happen. So we're probably going to see this one again. But not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a Little Lords game between High Elves and Hordes of Chaos. I am bringing an Archmage for the first time. Well, not for the first time, I brought Archmages before, but the first time in this series. I'm bringing magic, a dedicated magic character for the first time to Little Lords. We'll see how that goes. And then on the flip side, I have a Champion of Khorne so that we have more Dispel dice, because I hate myself, apparently. I wanted to actually have like some magic defense is what's going on, and I didn't want to like completely invalidate the wizard, nor did I want to run 2 wizards and just be like, and now there's a magic duel going on, and I guess a fight to the side. Both of those feel like really unfun to me. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until tomorrow, boy!